Alrighty, so we have our play tic-tac-toe function sort of working. There's a couple issues with it, and we're going to fix those issues. And one of them is also probably going to be to get rid of this by, instead of asking if the game's over or not, just like checking whether the game's over or not. First thing we're also going to do is we're going to print the blank board 3 times. Print board. We're going to print that 3 times just so that it ends up down here, which I think is about where it needed to be with the input. And I know I could do this in a loop, but I'm just going to do it here. It's only 3 lines anyways. Okay, so now if I run this, we're going to say, I don't know, Harold and Marge are playing. Cool. So Harold X coordinate, he's going to go to, and so now that all that did was the 3 print boards was to put it so we can see the blank board first before, the input was getting in the way. So Harold's going to play at 1, 1. And so this is kind of annoying. Every time it checks, it needs to ask if the game's over because it doesn't know how to check whether or not the game's over. So what we're going to do is, we're going to say, no, the game's not over. Marge now gets to play. She's smart, so she's going to play at 2, 2. So it goes down there. She's got the center. The game is not over yet. Harold X coordinate, he's going to go to 2, 1. Game's not over yet. Marge gets to go to 3, 1. Game's not over yet. Okay, and nice. It keeps, you can see the board no matter what after this point. Harold it's pretty much a stalemate at best for Harold, right? He's too far behind. So he's going to have to block there, and then Marge would go there. Yeah, there's not too much time left. So anyways, Harold would go to 1, 3, and then we're going to say, yeah, the game's over because it's going to be a tie anyways, right? The game is over. That's it. So we got this little thing functioning, right? Now, I'm thinking a little bit more as I'm talking here, and checking for whether or not the game is over. I mean, I guess it's not that bad. It's just going to be a really, really gross. So basically, we know how to tell if a game's over or not, right? Like, as human beings, we know, all right, well, if it's 3 in a row anywhere, we're good. The problem is that, like, the computer can't really, like, see it until you say what's happening, right? So what we're going to have to do, basically, is if we don't want to keep asking the user, and, the user's going to get annoyed saying, why is this game asking me if the game's over or not? It should be able to figure out who won, right? So what it's going to have to do, if we're going to fix this, is we're basically, after every single time someone plays a piece, we're going to have to check, did someone win in the first row, the second row, or the third row? Did someone win on the first column, second column, or third column? Or did someone win on either of the diagonals? So we're going to have to do, is it almost, there's got to be a smarter way, right? Instead of checking here, 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 there, there, there. I guess I could, because it's tic-tac. So, okay, here's the deal. If we were doing it for a limitless size board, we would probably iterate across, all right, go the whole way here, go the whole way there, go the whole way there, there, right? Doing all that. I think what we might do instead, because we know tic-tac-toe is always going to be a 3x3, that limitation lets it be a little bit nicer, right? We can actually really just loop through the entire board, and instead of doing a loop where I'm going to like walk through the entire row, I might just have this massive if statement that says, all right, if 1, 1 equals X, and 2, 1 equals X, and 3, 1 equals X, then X player wins. And then the same thing for O. And then the same thing again for all the columns, all the rows, and the 2 diagonals. And I feel like that's the best situation. It's just it's really boring and really gross. But that's the best way that I can think of at the top of my head right now, other than doing a loop. So I'm going to get stuck. Well, I'm not using any kind of editing on these videos. Who am I kidding? So we're just going to do it, I guess. So instead of checking to see if the game is over or not, we're going to say, okay, if board at 1 at 1, except it's really board at 0. Oh, God. At 0, because these coordinates are a lie, right? This is really 0, 0. This is really 1, 0. And we just made them 1, 2, 3 because we want the user to be able to like use regular coordinates. So if the board is 0, 0 equals X, capital X, and the board at 0, 1 equals X. And the board at 0, 2 equals, we're running out of, here, let's scoot this over, equals X. Then we know that the game is over. Game over is being set equal to true. And we're also going to say, we're going to print congrats. X player wins. Actually, instead of even X player, we're going to say congrats. Close this plus, what's the name of our person? Player X. Plus player X plus quote wins. Right? So we're going to test this to see if this works. And this way, we're not going to have to check all this checking that we did in the last one, which even kind of freaked me out with this weird while statement, is gone, which is nice. It's just that, we're going to have to do this 8 times for the X player, and then again another 8 times for the O player, which kind of sucks. But, the users won't have to tell the game if it's over or not every time, right? So we're trying to make it nice for the users. We're going to delete that. And we're going to run it and see if this works. And the only way this should work, by the way, is if the X player goes, wins along the top. Otherwise, it'll never end. So let's, or it shouldn't ever end. So let's zoom out a little bit. What's going on here? Bum, bum, bum. Okay, there we go. Let's run it. X player is going to be Harold again. O player is going to be Marge again. And, if I move this over enough, I don't even need... Well, whatever. That means actually my video is going to be in the way, I think. So let's... Hey. I can't even scoot it. All right. Video's moving out of the way here. Let's go. Harold's going to play. He has to play at 1, 1. Marge is now going to play at... Oh, I almost put her at 2, 1, which that would have been bad. That would have made it so we can never end this. She's going to play at 1, 2. Scroll down a little bit. Let me zoom out a tiny bit. Okay. She's going to play at 1, 2. Harold's going to play at 2, 1. Game's still not over yet. Marge is going to play at 2, 2. And this should end the game if we did it right. So we're going to say Harold's going to play at 3, 1. And it puts the X down there. It says, congrats, Harold wins. Awesome. So this is working, right? This check for the end of the game is a lot simpler and easier for the user to use. The only issue is going to be this tedious part that comes up right now, which is instead of just doing this if a single time, I guess I could do another elif and another elif and another elif, but I'm going to try to put it all over here. So I'm going to say, okay, here it is if it is a straight along the first row, right? Part of me kind of wants to do this as a loop, but I'm just going to do it statically. It's gross. I think there's a loop that can do it better. I'm just going to say or, and then we're going to copy all of this over. Bada boom. And it's just going to replace all these zeros with ones. There's absolutely a better way to do this as a loop. But because we're constraining this into a tic-tac-toe board, it's fine to just do it this kind of stupid way, which is, all right, if X is all along here or X is all along here now, right? We just did that second one by just changing my Y coordinate to 1 and all there, right? And then we're going to say another OR, and then all this at 2, 0, and 2, 1, and 2, 2, right? And so this should be an if statement that checks if the X player wins horizontally on any row. It doesn't check for column wins, it doesn't check for diagonal wins, and it doesn't check if the O player wins, but it does check for the X player, right? So let's try it out. Bum-ba-dum. Okay, what's going? Hey, why can't I? Okay, going here. Let's try it. Boom, running this. I think my video is gonna have to move over here for another second. All right, Harold. Oh, Marge, like literally, we can't even check if Marge wins, so I guess Harold has to win again. So it'll be Harold and Marge. Harold's gonna play at. We're gonna check the bottom row this time. Let's see if the bottom row works. So he's gonna play at 1, 3. Marge X coordinate is going to be. She likes the 2s. She's gonna play at 1, 2. I have to zoom out a little bit more. Ugh, this is gross. So, who's Harold's next? So Harold's gonna play at 2 in the X, 3 in the Y. Marge's gonna play for the center again. And let's see if this works correctly, should be good, right? If Harold plays over here, it should end the game for us. So let's try. He's gonna play at 3, 3. Awesome. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. Because this video is probably long enough and there's not really much else to say here. What I want you to try and do is like finish up this if statement for if the X player wins, right? So it's going to be a big if with all I did all the rows for you. You have to try all the columns and then the 2 diagonals. The diagonals are going to look like 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2, right? Or whatever the coordinates are there. 3, 2, 0, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Fill that in for the X player and then make an elif and do that for the O player. And then you should have a full functioning game. I'm not going to have a video of me doing all of that because there's not really much to be done over here. But try it yourself. The next video I'll start off just by like showing the answer here. And I might even post a link to this project in the description of the video so that you can like see the final result afterwards. Yeah, that's it. So we now, after you do the rest of the work here, we'll have a fully functional tic-tac-toe board game. There's another issue, which I'll show right now, but I'm going to leave it as something for you to fix at some point because it's just more tediousness. But it's going to be, all right, if Harold and Marge play, and, Marge has been playing a lot smarter than Harold lately, but, Harold's been winning because he's the only one that can win right now. If we say, all right, Harold's going to try to play real hard. He's going to go for the center to start, right? Great move. Always the best move that you can do. Start in the center. Marge is going to be like, Harold, I'm going to play in the center too. And the issue that we have right now is that it just erases them, right? And you shouldn't allow a player to play in a place that's already been played. Already has a piece in it, already has a mark on it. So just another issue to think about. But yeah, try finishing out the rest of this by making a bunch more if statements. If you want to go really crazy, I'm sure there's a more elegant way to do a full set of like loops. So instead of having an if statement that ends up being like 8 lines long with, all these different ORs and then another if statement that's 8 lines long with all the ORs for the O player, loop could be a lot nicer, but I'm not going to do it because I have to think a little bit too much for that. So yeah, there's our tic-tac-toe board program pretty much done. Ready to move on to the turtle program, I think.